Be sure and tell them Large Marge sent ya.
In the 90s, we were just teeny tykes. We liked our movies and our bikes. We wanted to be DJs, but we were just teeny gals. So we went off to college and we remained best pals. 20 years later, we're still watching flicks and we're bringing you the favorite bit by bit. Sweetie and Sweety are here to say it's the Large Marge Santa's podcast. Hey,
Hey guys, welcome to the Large Marge Santa's podcast, your favorite podcast where two Sweety sisters talk about their favorite flicks from childhood. I'm Sweety with a Y.
And I'm Sweety with an IE.
And tonight was my pick, even though Sweety tried to bamboozle the fuck out of me. And
I didn't want you to bring this up. I think we should just glaze over it and forget it ever happened because I feel bad about it.
You should. You always do it. It's time to change. Sweetie, we've brought this up before, but we've made a rule where, it started because Sweetie would be like, what movie should we watch? And then I'd give like 5 great examples. And she'd be like, no, I don't feel like that. No, I don't feel like that. And I was like, fine. You pick it. So then we made a rule where we went back and forth. I pick a movie, we have to watch it. Sweetie picks a movie, we have to watch it. So for some reason, Sweetie does good for a little while, but then she starts getting restless with the picks. And sometimes if she doesn't want to watch it, she tries to snake out of it.
Here's from my side of it. So I'm a list person, and we have ongoing list. It's a Google Doc drive doc where we each have like a column for our picks. So we add Sweetie's is much smaller than mine. Mine is like several rows long. Sweetie only has a couple
things, and I don't.
Yeah, well, you should add stuff. Anyway, so I'm trying to knock the movies that we have off of that list because it's really satisfying for me to cross them off. But your picks are always one that aren't on the list, and I just get annoyed by it.
What? This one was. I remember putting it on there.
Okay.
Check
I
the
looked.
list.
I looked. I didn't see it on there. But anyway, 2 things you should start adding to the list so then we won't have this argument. Okay, 1 thing. That's all I have to say.
Doing things.
Things?
So, anyway, Sweetie tried to get me to switch my movie to Showgirls, which in normal circumstances I would have done in a second.
That's why I thought it was such an easy sell. And I'm like, she's totally going to go for this.
But
didn't.
We are remotely recording. And I said to Sweetie, it's really better if we watch Showgirls together because it's important to have a support system during that film. And I'm not talking about a bra. No, yeah. It's just like that movie is so ridiculous that like you have to be with somebody like making fun of it or it's just like not as fun.
Okay.
So.
I hear ya. Showgirls is next, guys. Get ready. Hold on to your G-strings.
So excited. But tonight, what's that clicking? Why is there always clicking?
I had my wireless headphones and I couldn't remember like which one was up or down on the volume, and then my phone's upside down, so it's like completely reversed. I don't know what's going on. Upside is like, right side up, downside, whatever.
It's like baby boom. He's like, what's that tapping? It's like every time.
Sorry.
But tonight we did my pick. I stuck with it. It is Wish Upon a Star. Not sure the tune we were going for.
I was singing today the Shining Star song from Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Shining
star for you to see, shining star for you to be.
Catch a
falling star and put it in your pocket. Never let it fade away. Good one.
Yeah.
What is that, a kindergarten jam?
I don't know. I always thought it was the song,
church
the
song?
theme song for this movie. And then I realized it was entirely different concepts.
There's also that song, waiting for a star to fall, carry your heart into my arms.
Oh, yeah.
That's what the end of 3 Men and a Little
Lady.
Lady.
What is that? Oh, yeah. Good one. Yeah, there's a lot of good shooting star themes out there for songs. Yeah, it's good stuff. This movie was a movie that was played consistently on the Disney Channel for most of my life, I would say. But I did some research. Maybe you did the same, but it originally came out in 1996?
Mm-hmm.
And then they re-released it on the Disney Channel in 2002. And that is when we probably saw it. And it was played all the time. And that makes sense.
So there goes my confusion of why I thought it was a Disney original movie.
Right.
Because it played on the Disney Channel. Gotcha.
Yeah. And what was the other? Oh, and I feel like that makes sense because 2002 was like early enough in the 2000s that it still felt like the 90s. So it probably still felt like fairly current to us.
Yeah.
When we were watching it.
Was it a TV movie? And it wasn't released in the movie theaters, right?
I don't know. I mean, who knows what was happening in 1996?
I didn't see on
The old days.
IMDb any
Money.
money type. You know, they have that section where it's like this movie made so much and this is how much it cost to make. So I didn't see it, so I assumed it was TV movie, and it did feel like TV movie. Also, in the sense like nobody famous is really in it, because when you look at the people who are in this movie, it's like all grayed out people.
Excuse me. Do you mean Donnie, or should I say Don?
Okay, there's like three kind of famous, not kind of famous, but people who like were doing like active things at the time. But that's like pretty small for like a movie.
Donnie Jeffcoat was a B-list celebrity at this time.
No, that's what I'm saying. I mean, they all were. So,
but but we watch it. I watched it all the time. My friends and I would watch it. We would talk about it. I was obsessed with Alexia Wheaton's blue polka dot ensemble. I don't know why, but I do like the fact that she likes that dark colored blue, which is my favorite color blue. Really speaks to me, and her like platform blue sandals. But anyways, but I've always enjoyed this movie.
So now that you said it came out in 2002, this also makes sense of why I don't really know it that well, because I would have been in college and probably not watching the Disney Channel at all. But would definitely have, like, if I was home and you were watching it, that's kind of where I remember it entering my life. Yeah. I was too busy drinking at frat parties and wearing, I'm trying to think what my style was in 2002. I mean, we'll go over it, but I definitely had white eyeshadow. I'm just going to tell you right now.
Who doesn't love the frosty look?
Who does? The frosted face.
Ice princess look. It's so sexy on everyone.
So sexy.
But yeah, so anything else? So obviously, well, maybe not obviously. If you have seen this, maybe you haven't. Probably you haven't, and you just love hearing our voices. But this was actually one of Katherine Heigl's earlier movies. She plays one of the sisters, and the other sister is played by Danielle Harris, who you may know from Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead, or Halloween, the sequels. Good times. I feel like she was in another movie we covered also.
I know.
Why am I blanking on what that is?
Like
She
she's
was
a little girl in it too.
Right.
I always confuse her with the girl from Adventures in Babysitting.
Oh.
Maybe because also the Babysitter movies, but I feel like they have similar personalities.
She's not as annoying, I feel like, as the Adventures in Babysitting Sarah. But, my God. I still can't believe she goes out the window. Like, Sarah, get it together.
It's the best.
Take the guy. Go with the guy.
Yeah.
Oh
it was
God.
ballsy.
It was good.
Yeah. So other than those two, like I said, like no one other than the B-list celebrity we all know and love, Donnie Jeffcoat, which I'm sorry is the best name like ever. And
Donnie Jeffcoat?
He's been in like another movie or something. And actually I just saw him in the Wonder Years. Okay, the Wonder Years is a great show. Like basically it was like the Law and Order of like 90s TV or movie stars, because like everyone who becomes a star in the 90s like had an appearance on the Wonder Years, because there were so many episodes. There's like 6 seasons. There's 115 episodes. So if you were a kid at that time or like a young actor, you were like rolling through the Wonder Years set and do it. And they were all little one-off episodes, right? Except for like obviously the Kevin Arnold and like his friends. So I saw him, Donnie Jeffcoat. I was like, holy shit, Donnie Jeffcoat. And the only thing that plays in my mind is the Wild and Crazy Kids song. Wild and Crazy Kids.
Omar
Omar
Goody. No, it's like a question. It sounds like Omar Goody. Donnie Jeffco.
Annette.
Something.
Annette Chavez was. Oh, it's always the woman first. I think it was Annette Chavez, Omar Gooding, and then Donnie Jeffco, and then it was Jessica blah blah.
Someone who we hated.
Yeah. Who the show totally took a nosedive once
Team
Jessica
Annette,
came on.
yeah.
I just want to say she was like so annoying and it's like way too peppy. She wasn't cool. She was not a wild crazy kid. I'll tell you that.
Like pale redheads. We're just you know we just have an adverse reaction. But no offense.
Anyway, so yes, Donnie Jeffcoat from Wild and Crazy Kids is the hot boyfriend.
But he goes by Don is his stage name apparently.
I thought you meant his character in the movie. I was like, I don't
Kyle.
believe so.
No, but he's billed as Don Jeffcoat. Like Don Draper. Don Jeffcoat. Good times. So that's it for people in this. I guess we can just skip to the best part.
Well, okay. Well, let's talk about. We don't want to talk about this first, but Wish Upon a Star is your classic body swap film. So I gotta say, the body swap is one of my favorite genres.
Yeah.
They're like always a good time, and you'd think you'd get sick of it because you're like, okay, this plot has been done like so many times, but really they've been able to do such variations on it that it always ends up being like really, really fun. So I'm just going to name a couple I thought of, but also researched because I had to do it for some. So probably the most famous one being Freaky Friday, right? You have the original one, which was the one from like the 50s, the 60s with Jodie Foster, and I forget who the mom is. But then the amazing remake with Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan, which I'm sorry, is such a good movie.
So
like I want to watch it right now. I just love that.
You're the ultimate.
Oh, God. So good, right? So love that. We've already covered one, which not a lot of people know, but I'd say is pretty famous 80s wise. Speaking of Wonder Years and Fred Savage, Vice Versa. So we covered that in our Savage September.
Highly recommend.
So funny, like really good. Again, like classic good, bad 80s movie, but really it's good. Fred Savage and Judge Reinhold. Yep. And then a couple other ones from the 80s. So there's this one called 18 Again, where George Burns body swaps with his grandson. So again, that's like another kind of spin on it. So far we've had mom, daughter, father, son, and then this George Burns one is grandfather, grandson. Okay. Then you have Dream a Little Dream, which is with the Coreys. So Corey Feldman body swaps with like an old man. And his friend must be Corey Haim, because Corey Haim's in it too. Haven't seen that one. Would like to see it. Like Father, Like Son with Kirk Cameron and Dudley Moore.
We've had this exact same revelation when we did Vice Versa, I'm pretty sure.
Probably.
I wish we should compare the tapes. I bet you're saying the exact same stuff, including I would love to see this.
Love to see this. Okay. So this one again, father and son one. I think the father's a like a surgeon or something. And sounds like the Kirk Cameron's probably like a punk kid. So, it's all about like learning responsibility, basically. The daughter, son, and the father, like mother one. It's always like you don't see like my side of things.
Yeah, it's about
and they have an appreciation of each other's life, right?
Yeah, it's about
which is this one too.
Person's shoes on and getting to know more about them and understanding them and that kind of thing.
And then more recently, Hot Chick. Rob Schneider, is that his name?
Yeah.
Wait,
I always thought that movie was just like he was like, so the hot chick goes into his nasty body. No, wait. Hold on. What's the plot again?
I mean, he switches bodies with a cheerleader, right?
I think when he looks in the mirror, he sees himself. He sees a hot chick. But
I don't know. Look it up. Because I'm going to keep talking about something else. So I don't know. Sweet Eye Jimmy here saw it with his friends. Maybe he can fill us in on the plot later. But yeah, I've never seen that one. And then the newest one I'd say, and this preview just came out like yesterday or today, is this new one called Freaky with Vince Vaughn as a serial killer. And this girl, he goes to like kill this girl, and they, instead of her dying, she gets swapped into his body and he goes into hers. So then it's Vince Vaughn like as this high school girl and trying to like convince her friends like I'm not like a serial killer. It looks so funny, but it's like a horror movie. I watched the preview right before this. Oh my god, I want to see it so bad. Did you watch that, Sweetie?
No.
The preview for that? You got to do it after. It looks so funny.
Wait, is new? Is coming? Sorry, I was
Yeah.
lost. I was lost in the plot of The Hot Chick.
Yeah, so this freaky movie's coming out this year. Looks really good.
Nice.
Looks like it's like body swap horror. Okay, what is the plot of Hot Chick? The hot chick.
So there's the hot chick who is trying on earrings unbeknownst to her that are magical. And at that time she's trying them on, a princess known as Princess Nawa is disgusted by the groom of her arranged marriage and switches bodies with a slave girl by means of an enchanted set of earrings. Since the earrings are not for sale, Jessica steals them. But the next morning she gets a big dose of reality when she wakes up in the body of a 30-something lowlife male, Clive, a career criminal. I don't understand. What does the princess have to do with these earrings?
She enchanted the earrings or something? I don't know.
Why is she in the plot at all?
Seems
I
like
don't
a terrible
understand it.
movie. We'll have to do some
Anyways,
research on
yeah,
that.
they swap bodies, but they don't know each other, which is a strange twist on that. You have to know the person, or it doesn't really make sense, and the lessons you learn aren't really like
Right. I think
Great.
those are the most successful. And like I said, I think the father, son, or daughter, mother ones are always pretty good.
What about the shaggy dog?
In that sense?
They swap in that, or does he just become a dog?
No, he becomes one. But in my research, I found kind of a recent one. Was this one where Kevin Spacey swaps with a cat?
What?
The family cat. Oh God.
I hate Kevin Spacey.
I know, so weird. But anyway, so Wish Upon a Star, classic body swap film, except I don't think this one had been done before. Two sisters.
Two sisters. Yeah. Sisters who are not friends, I should add, not like us. It's hard to relate to this one, but we'll find a way. Life finds a way. All right. Anything else before we get going here?
Let's get some body swapping. Body swapping. Body swapping. Body swapping. Body swapping.
Body swapping. All right. Do it. Start it.
It's time for the Sweetie synopsis. Yeah.
Sweeties.
I don't have a quote.
Oh.
Sorry, I didn't forget to write one down.
Alexia Wheaton is a wench. That's the quote.
There was a good one that was like, "You have my body, my boobs, and my boyfriend, but you're not me," or something like that.
Simple and to the point.
Yep.
Alexia and Haley Wheaton are sisters who are living in Colorado somewhere, not sure of the city. I do know that in the wintertime you can drive a Jeep without the top frequently.
Wait a minute.
So
Wait, why was it winter? How do you know it was winter?
the winter festival, hello.
Oh God. Well, maybe it was like March.
No, they filmed it in Utah is what happened.
Yeah,
I looked it up.
But it would still be really cold there, wouldn't it?
I don't know. Is it? Or is
it
it
only
like
cold
the
in the
desert?
mountains?
I don't know.
Oh God.
But I saw the
I'm
mountains.
embarrassed.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Anyways, people who live there, let us know. But I did Google
Or don't.
what is the average temperature in Colorado in February, which is when this was, and it said 45 degrees. So I don't think you should be, taking your Jeep around without the top. So these sisters are pretty different. You have Haley, who is bookish, nerdy, but sweet, good-hearted, the good stuff. And then you have her older sister, Alexia, who's the popular, cool girl who wears very short skirts, attracts a lot of attention, and is not good at school and has one of the lowest GPAs I've ever seen in my life. But, so they have two parents who are psychiatrists. And so there's this whole kind of like subplot of them trying to like figure out the right way to parent so they can like write a book about it. So their new technique is to not fuss over their decisions and let them do whatever they want. So that plays largely into the events that take place in the movie and why there's not like a lot of, it's pretty brilliant actually, of like why there's not a lot of like questioning of the strangeness.
Yeah, that's smart.
Yeah. So let's see. Alexia has a boyfriend whom Haley loves. And it's one of those, like, you have a crush on your sister's boyfriend things, right? Where it's like, do you really, like, is this just the closest boy you've been to ever?
Right.
Or do you really have a crush on this person? I don't know. Have you ever had a crush on your sister's boyfriend?
I never did with Liz, but yeah, we were not. I mean, this is as Sweety said, like, an interesting story that we don't really relate to just because our sister dynamic was not like these sisters. And I'm sure there are sisters like this. So you have, I don't know, they were, 4 years apart because Haley was probably a freshman.
Freshman or
well, wasn't she a freshman? And she was a senior because it was like her first time at the dance probably. Well, maybe their high school was 10th to 12th grade or whatever. Yeah. But definitely that dynamic where the sister, they're very different, like opposites in personality. And one is sort of like popular and pretty, and the other one is more like smart. Okay, that's pretty like stereotypical, like two sister kind of a thing. But you had one that like really wanted the other one's life, which, like, I don't know. I mean, again, like we didn't relate to. Like, I don't know. I just like never had those thoughts about my sister.
You didn't want to be me?
I don't know. With Liz, but you didn't have that with me either because we were like too similar, I think.
I thought Liz's beauty was like very inspiring when I was little, and I did want to be like pretty like that. Not that you weren't pretty, but like because she was like older and was, I would say, popular. Okay, what is the correct term to describe Liz? I'm not sure.
I was trying to describe it to Jimmy, and I said, it wasn't really like popularity because she also was like, well, she was kind of a bad kid, and I think that's why I did not want to be her at all because she was actually kind of terrible. I mean, she was very pretty and very like popular, but with like the bad kids, I'd say. So it wasn't like that she was like this character of this girl in the high school or like a Mean Girls kind of like that popularity kind of a thing. And I think so it wasn't anything to aspire to, I'd say.
I don't know. Like, I feel like it set an example for me where I was like, I want to be cool like that. But when it came down to it, I was too scared. And like the one time I hung out with her and her friends and they like stole things from the flea market, I was like, I am done.
Oh, I was like the opposite. I was like, I want to be nothing like her, and obviously saw our parents' reaction to her and how stressful that was for them and how like honestly how terrible she was. And I was the exact opposite. I was like, I'm going to be the exact opposite of Liz, and I did, and it really worked out in my favor because my parents loved me.
We're Haley Wheaton.
I was Haley Wheaton, but with a much better hairstyle.
Better eyebrows.
She like, and I kind of hate that the way they have to do that about how, okay, like the girl who wants to be the pretty girl is like, I mean, okay, in this movie, I mean, we'll talk about it more, but I think it was more about a confidence thing. It wasn't really about, it wasn't necessarily about looks. I mean, it was the way that girl carried herself versus the other one was just not as confident. And maybe that was just age and like,
you're
needing to grow up.
I mean, she does put still a ton of makeup on her at the end. And you're like, oh, but she's like, I'll show you how to get boys or something. And the way that she does it is like slapping on all her like frosty eyeshadow
but the boyfriend says he doesn't even like it. I mean, okay, we're getting ahead of ourselves here. we haven't even gotten to the body swap. I know. We do, it's a lot to dig in here.
Okay,
but
so
get
they're unhappy.
To the star part.
Unhappily related and just are pretty much just coexisting in this world together, and they really don't want to be. But Haley does really want to kiss her sister's boyfriend, Kyle. So one night, Kyle and Alexia are in the hot tub getting cozy, and Haley's doing her like astronomy homework. And I've probably seen one shooting star in my life, and it was during a meteor shower. So it was like several of them, but I don't know if those count or not because those were like expected. But she sees like 5 shooting stars in the span of like a week in this. Maybe even less than that, like 3 days.
Well, here's the thing, and I've only known this really since being with Jimmy. There are shooting stars a lot. You just have to be patient, and you have to look up at the sky for like kind of a long time to see them. Because I've seen like
that kind of time.
So many because we're kind of like star watchers now, and it's kind of amazing. You just honestly have to have patience. Like the sky is burning up there. I mean, stuff's flinging around, but you just got to be patient.
idea. It's just I don't have a lot of time. There's bugs. I don't know. I don't know. So, anyways, Haley sees a shooting star and makes a wish that she wants to be her sister. So she says, "I wish I was Alexia." So then,
I like how she uses her last name.
oh yeah, I didn't even notice that.
I want to be.
Wish I was.
I wish I was Alexia Wheaton.
I know.
And like I'm like, okay, it's like the gods not know like who you're talking about. You got to use last names.
Yeah, interesting. I didn't catch that. That's
yeah,
funny.
it really stood out.
So the next morning, they wake up and stumble into the bathroom, and who we think is Haley looks in the mirror, and she screams, and then who we think is Alexia comes in. Turns out they've swapped. So Haley is now Alexia. Alexia is Haley. Now this is confusing. Alexia is very upset that she's in the body of Haley and demands that she undo it and tries to do a series of like half-hearted attempts to reverse it by doing a birthday cake with candles, even though it is not Haley's birthday. Something tells me that would not work. Or pretending the toilet is a wishing well and throwing pennies in also didn't work. So now they're fucked. So they have to go to school and pretend to be each other. And it's hard because Haley's so smart and Alexia is not. So, and Alexia is so popular and Haley's not. So they have to now try to be each other.
Or even harder, and I feel like this always comes up with like the kid swap movies. Someone knows how to drive and someone does not. So that is always a point of like humor in these. And unfortunately, Alexia drives a stick shift Jeep, which is just like the worst for someone who has no idea how to drive. That's why she kept bucking like that.
No, I thought it was just because she'd never been in a car before.
No, I'm pretty sure that was most Jeeps, like you have to like pay to get like an automatic one of those Wranglers. Like they really mostly come as a standard.
Well,
so
they
like
paid $298 for her dress, so I'm sure they made it happen.
No, I think it was a stick. So like,
I don't
wow.
know.
I mean,
Let's
if that
ask
was
the
the
experts,
the best thing that she learned was
like,
the.
remember when you
stick
drove a
shift.
car for the first time? It was like you didn't have a sense of how heavy or light you had to push the gas pedal, so it was like very bucking. Like
Jimmy, that Jeep was definitely a standard, wasn't it? Yeah, he said yeah.
Okay,
Definitely.
We'll play back the tape and see.
It had that stick in that the Jeeps have those long kind of sticks, you know, that you're.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It could be like the regular one too. Just
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I don't know. Okay. Anyways, so
In the weeds, have to get out.
so they go to school and they try to get through it. Haley's very excited because she wants to kiss Kyle, her sister's boyfriend. Finds out, unfortunately, that she broke up with him last night, or Alexia did rather, in the hot tub after that incident.
And do you know why? Because I found this out kind of late in the movie.
Because of a rule.
Yeah, I like that didn't click.
You didn't find it out when you found out about when she broke
they
up
kept
with
seeing this 3-month rule, and I'm like, what the hell is this? And then it clicked.
It's a 3. What do you mean it clicked?
I don't know. I was like, 3-month what? And I was just like, what are they talking about? Okay, because I missed that part where she broke up with him.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was important. They talked about it then. So apparently her and her little friends have all these stupid rules. And one of them is you can only date a guy for 3 months and then you have to cut him loose so as to, get your full potential in the dating world with all the other hot and eligible bachelors at this high school.
There's 209 bachelors at the high school, sweetie.
Are they including all those like nerdy loser boys that are everywhere in this movie? Like I didn't see any other cool hot boys.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Where you at? But so Haley freaks out and goes to find Kyle and like tries to make up with him and is like, I'll drive you home, even though she can't drive. So meanwhile, the real Haley had a science test that day. So she tells Alexia to pretend that she faints so that she can just go home and stay homesick, which is a good plan. And it works very convincingly, I should add. And so Haley just starts living her life, fucking making out with Don Jeffcoat, That's the life. Comes home with a hickey. Alexia is very upset. And that is when things start to go south in this relationship. Why is that, sweetie?
Well, it was kind of one-sided one person sort of ruining the other person's life just because they like want to experience these things. And I feel like this is how it goes in most body swap movies. One of the characters goes a little bit overboard in the other body. So it's usually the one that's like most excited. So for like the kid parent one, it's always like the kid goes like a little bit nuts because some like suddenly they can drive a car, they can like they don't have to go to school anymore, right? They like can tell people what to do. So it's like a power trip thing. But in this situation, yeah, with the sisters, it's a power trip thing because now Haley finds herself like with a boyfriend and really hot and with cool clothes and like wearing makeup. So it's like all the things that she kind of dreamed of and wanted, which like really she could have gotten for herself. I mean, there's no reason like that she couldn't have gotten those things.
She needed the tools.
Yeah, she needed the tools and she needed like the confidence, which is kind of what we talked about. So anyway, obviously Alexia is kind of pissed off about this. So she's like, fine, well, if you're going to like ruin my life, I'm going to ruin yours. So the only way to do that, because Haley's is a little bit more like, let's say, academic based, is to like really fuck with her chances of getting into this science fair, but also kind of messing with her image too. So the next day she goes to school dressed in this like dominatrix outfit, let's say, which apparently was Alexia's Halloween costume. Very strange. And their parents, as we said, are these like psychiatrists who just like don't want to yell at their kids or discipline their kids. They're trying to kind of work out this like new method of parenting where they're kind of hands off. But they even make a point of saying, so like Haley comes down, the younger sister comes down in this dominatrix thing, and then when the Alexia like in Haley's body like complains about it, they're like, well, that's what you wore like last Halloween and you didn't have a problem with it.
That was on Halloween.
Yeah, but still like such a crazy Halloween costume. Anyway, so then Haley goes to school, or sorry, Alexia goes to school, writes this is like so confusing because it's like they're
I know
different people.
Who do they know? How do they know who we're talking about?
I know. So anyway, so she writes like on the bathroom, like Alexia is a wench.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then in like big black marker, and then the other sister comes in, crosses it out, and says like Haley is a wench. So, and then there's Alexia as Haley does this like basically like hot stripper dance in the lunchroom, and then Haley as Alexa is like making out with her boyfriend again, even though she told him not to. So basically, they're just like trying to destroy each other, which is just kind of just a very basic sibling reaction. Instead of like talking it out, being like, well, oh, you're messing with me, I'm messing with you. You know, just like kind of push and shove sibling stuff.
Right. But then,
And then they get hauled down to the principal's office.
Yeah. And then they realize pretty quickly that they're just hurting each other. And if they don't stop, that they're going to ruin both of their lives. So that is the moment they kind of start understanding each other a little bit more, because now they each have a common goal, which is to get the thing that is at risk in the other one's world. So for Haley, that's the science fair, and for Alexia, it's this like interview for this school, or this maybe is a prep school or something. Like, what is this
it's
place
college.
she wants to go to? But
College,
she
I
didn't
think.
think she could get into college. So I was like, then what is this place?
Well, that's why I guess she's like trying. But it is, and it's also the winter dance thing, or no?
Oh yeah,
It's more
yeah,
the college
and the
thing?
Winter Festival, which Alexi is in the running for the Winter Queen or whatever, and so she really needs that. So they start working together, and Haley uses her smarts to make Alexia look better in classes. So starts like getting scary math questions right, which I still don't understand. Like anything about that math problem. Like, no thank you, God. Like, what? It was too fast. I was like, what do you mean 4 A's? I was like, what? Okay. Anyways, and then Alexia studies like Haley's science project so that she can present it. And she starts like learning and understanding science, which is really exciting for her. And they just start behaving like real sisters and like having fun and laughing, and their parents are like, it worked, and they're so excited.
Yeah, and like and helping each other out and cheering the other person on and being like this support system. Because I feel like Alexia didn't realize kind of how insecure Haley was, and kind of that she starts to realize that and really starts boosting her up and saying, okay, like you can get a boyfriend, like that Simon guy like really likes your personality, even though he like likes what I look like, but like, and she becomes this kind of great sister to her and really like helping her out, which is just what I think they were both missing in each other's lives instead of being sort of, you know,
enemies
or even just like, I don't even know if they were like enemies. They just like didn't care about each other so much, you know?
Yeah. I feel like they hated each other a lot. Just like a little bit. But so then that night, Haley looks for a shooting star. So she finds one and tries to undo the wish. Wakes up the next morning and they're still the same. So nothing worked. So she's kind of distraught at this point and is like, I'm stuck in this body forever. And it kind of sent me into like a spiral because I was like, oh my God, that would be so nuts if like you were trapped in someone else's body for the rest of your life. And then it was like you were starting anew with your personality, but like everything you had done up until that point is kind of is like not have happened. I don't know. It like really fucked me up briefly.
Don't worry, guys. In every body swap movie, they always figure it out.
There's always a way out. So there's always an exit clause. So she tells Alexia this and is like, bad news. Like, we're not going to be able to switch back. We're stuck. And then Alexia takes it upon herself to finally tell Haley that, oh, actually, I made a wish at the exact same time that you made the wish. So that's why it happened, because we were both doing it at the same time.
To be you.
Right, to be each other. And at the same time. So why she waits this long to tell her is annoying to me. Like her pride is like that important that she can't tell her sister. Like,
oh, totally. But again, I think it's just like she's realizing like this, you know, that her sister was like, and she was obviously her sister at a very vulnerable moment at that point because she thinks it's like her fault that they're going to be stuck like this.
Right.
But really it was like both of them.
Right.
Yeah.
But she just didn't want to admit that because she really enjoyed being her because she got to not care about stupid shit like her stupid friends and eating only fruits and veggies until the dance. She gets to pig out all day and like watch TV.
Weighing
She's
yourself
having a
every
blast.
Friday.
Awful. What like a terrible friendship.
I'm still upset that she remains friends with those girls.
I know. We got rid of all the rules except for number 7.
Except for number 9.
7?
9, which was
The one that says we'll be friends forever.
Forever. And I wish she would have been like, no thanks.
I'm going to hang out with
The
Caitlin.
rules are done, and
Bye.
so are you. Yeah. We're going to college. Like, we're not going to be friends anymore.
So they run out to the field and look for a star. They find one because, as Sweety has now informed us, they're there. You just have to look for a while.
Look, you guys, just stand outside right now for the clear night.
I
Like,
might
look
do
out there
it.
for 10 minutes, see if you can
Might
find
do
one.
it, you know?
Not going to lie, it'll happen.
Yeah. So one goes by, they make the wish, and then, as in most body swap movies, the change back into the right bodies happens instantaneously, which is always a question mark in my head. I'm always like, why in the first one it's like always overnight, and then the one when they go back, it's always like right away. But it's because of the like, well, it's because of the like, how do you put that in a story? Like, it's not exciting to have the climax be, did it work? And then they wake up the next morning and it's like, ta-da! Yeah. So they're back to normal. They go to the dance. Alexia is crowned the queen, and then she gives Haley the crown. It's really sweet. I teared up just like the tiniest bit.
Yeah, me too.
And then that's it. And then they're friends now, sisters.
Now
and
they're
friends.
best friends forever.
Best friends. Yeah. So it's a cute movie, right?
Wait, what happens? You don't know if Haley wins the science fair, though, do you? No.
No. Yeah, we never find that out.
Yeah. What the
Bullshit.
Crazy.
But yeah, and then Haley's dancing with Simon at the end. Simon, I mean, he seems like a drip, I'll be honest. I'm sad she gets saddled with him and his like girl hair. Like, I
gotta say, that guy is super confident for 2 reasons. Number one, he moves into town, is like waiting for the girl next door to come out with her Jeep and be like, can I have a ride to school? Yeah. And she doesn't even know him.
No, she doesn't know.
Ballsy.
But then
number 2,
yeah. Wait,
he kisses her.
But that's the same time when she meets him for the first time as
That's
Alexia?
the first time he's met. No. Wait.
She drove him home another time, right?
No. Okay. So he met Haley, Alexia as Haley first because she was home from school
Right. Oh,
sick.
yeah,
He
yeah,
brings
with
the
the
cookies.
mask. Yeah.
So that's the first sister he meets. Then Haley as Alexa comes out and is like, I gotta leave for school quick because like they're in that fight. And then he runs up to her. He's like, hey, can I have a ride to school?
And then
like, I'm your
kisses
new
her.
neighbor. And then like proceeds to kind of have this little relationship with her and kisses her. I mean, the guy is like terrible haircut. I mean, that like mid 90s haircut.
Hanson.
Yeah, kind of Hanson, but like Hanson was cute. He was just like a drip.
greasy.
And it's just like a parted in the middle,
And-
sort of like chin length, and all those guys always had horrible acne, and
And
it just like
why-
reminds me so much of middle school. It's crazy.
Yeah. And why is he doing like hard labor on the house that he just moved into? There's like it's like
know.
being constructed, and he's like hauling this like giant trash can, and he's like la la la. Like,
Who knows?
what?
Simon is a weirdo. Let's
It's
just
weird. I'm still upset
honest.
about it. But yeah, I love this movie. It's just so 90s. I wrote down so many that's so 90s things.
yeah, me too. I think that's like mostly what we're going to talk about as like, and really will spur more conversation because it was a good time. It was a good time.
Great time to be alive.
Okay. Oh wait, I will say a couple things before we get into that because I feel like that's going to be a majority of the episode, right?
Yep.
The one thing I think that I didn't think they did as good a job as they could have was setting up the girls' real personalities. Like that was too quick, and I didn't really get a good sense of who they were.
Yeah.
And then when they body swapped, I felt like when they set it up that Alexia was really just like this drip, and all she cared about was like clothes and boys. But when she was in Haley, she was like really smart. She felt like just seemed really smart, like really together, and like much older and like on top of stuff. And then I felt the Haley in the Alexia kind of seemed dumb and kind of flighty, and I think it was just supposed to be she was like young and the other person was
like-
kind of old, and that's how they were doing it. But
Maybe.
I don't know. I was just like
I think it's a common
confused.
problem. I just always thought of like Alexi was super mean, and so I think that carried over well into Danielle Harris pretending to be Alexia. So, but yeah, but I did like when they switched back at the end. You kind of remembered. You're like, oh, okay, now they just, you know, like you kind of remember what they were like as their original selves.
I mean, I really miss that, but we always have this complaint about body swap movies that when they do it, and even the really good ones, it's really hard for when the parent becomes
the older one becomes the younger. Or no, the younger one becomes the older one.
yeah, they act like so like way too young. So like Jamie Lee Curtis in Freaky Friday and Judge Reinhold in Vice Versa, they act like they're like toddlers. And you're like, wait a minute, like Lindsay Lohan was like in high school. Like why would she be acting like she's 5 years old? And that's what it felt like Jamie Lee Curtis was doing, and like they just overcompensate. I mean, I think that's how they're directed to act, because you really need to find like a real line between adult and child. And that's how they do it. But like, yeah. And even Judge Reinhold in that, remember, he's just like so goofy. And you're like, Fred Savage's like personality was like not
like
goofy.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, but I think it's just a really hard thing. And honestly, like, I don't know how you approach like doing a movie like this and trying to like remember who you're supposed to be like as the character. Just seems really challenging.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, and sorry, one more thing. And then question, do people say I love you in high school?
Sure. Yeah.
Is that a thing? Okay.
Yeah.
I just didn't know. I didn't know if people like got that serious, or that was like, you know, it's such a big thing once you get into like real relationships, quote unquote. But I didn't know if like high school qualified for like the I love you talk.
Of course it does.
Oh, did you get it?
Yeah.
You did? How
mean,
far along
yeah.
in a relationship?
I don't know. 6 months?
Aww. Did you say it, or did he say it?
I don't remember.
You don't?
I probably did. I'm sure I did.
Aww. Were you nervous about it?
I don't know. I honestly blacked it out.
Wow. Sad.
But I remember it being exciting and like, yeah. So, you know, good times. Whatever.
Yeah.
It's a thrill. It's a real thrill to be alive and in love in high school.
Yeah, totally right.
It's like really a great feeling. All right. Anything else before That's So 90s?
No, that's it.
So I'll start with my favorite, the silver makeup iced look, which we already talked about a little bit, but there's like such this trend in the 90s to wear silver eyeshadow or like white iridescent eyeshadow, like silver lipstick, blue lipstick. Like, what is this trend? I don't get it. Like I said,
Who started it?
It literally makes nobody look good. I've never seen anybody wearing this and make it look good because your eyelashes get like lost in the when you put this makeup on, even if you have mascara on, and you end up just looking like a weird alien. So it's not a good look.
True confession, my prom makeup was basically exactly
God,
Haley's at the end. It was white eyeshadow. I went to prom in 2001. Yep, way up white eyeshadow and then red lipstick. So I I was like, oh my God. And she had a red dress too. My prom dress was red too.
Not a short
so
one,
not a short one, but like really took me back. And I didn't have too many frosty lipstick, but the white eyeshadow was my jam. And I agree. I mean, everyone was doing it. So you're like, whatever, just.
Well, and by everyone, like the people in the magazines and the like celebrities, people like you would see this movie and be like, oh yeah, that's the look. Yeah. So yeah, that was my first one. Okay. Should we just go back and forth?
Sure. Okay. I'm gonna say, and this was sort of a little bit done in this movie because we were just on the cusp of this. I feel like looking like a hot baby. And we've talked about this many times, but that like this. Okay, so you see like Alexia first in this movie, and she like comes to school, and all the guys are like, "Hey," or she even leaves. Sorry, she leaves the house. So obviously like jailbait because like construction workers are like, "Yeah, baby, like woo," and she's wearing like a mini skirt and like a little. Is that the little sweater one?
Yep, the matching sweater set.
Pink. Yeah.
It's like
tiny little baby doll skirt. I mean, she looks like a hot baby. And, this carried on to obviously very much the Britney Spears era and baby doll dresses. And suddenly everyone wanted to look like a hot baby. It's like so confusing and conflicting. And it's just like, okay, what was happening? It is just, it's just so troubling to me.
I mean, do we blame it on Baby Spice or like...
I don't know.
Like, it was such a weird trend. Such a weird. Baby doll dresses, so weird.
Oh, it's just...
That cut, I hate
right,
it.
and then everyone wearing, like, those little barrettes in your hair and, like, the butterfly clips. Everything oh, my God, I love those clips. I had so many of them. But, like, why was that about of just this needing to look, like, as young as possible, but also that was translated into, like, sexy. Ugh, God. It's terrible.
Honestly, I feel like the situation in Josie and the Pussycats was really what happened. And that they were like feeding us weird things through our music. You want to look like a hot baby. That's what we were hearing, the subliminal messaging. Okay, my next one is chunky platform heels. So Alexia,
specifically white, I feel like was
white
a
and
huge
those blue
trend.
ones that she wears. But they're that like pretty decent sized heel with like a sandal, and then she wears them with like knee highs.
Oh God.
So I mean
again, that was
a look.
We're pre Britney Spears now, which is kind of interesting because I feel like she really set that trend off. Or actually, Clueless.
Yeah.
Sorry. So really, Britney kind of copied the Clueless. So it was the Clueless time that really set that off. Yeah. And again, a little bit, and that wasn't as much hot baby, more like hot schoolgirl. So again, like I'm a middle schooler and I'm hot kind of a thing, or prep school, just like hot student.
But yeah, she wears these chunky white heels that are just like, I mean, I cannot imagine rocking those to school. Like those are like, we had those shoes. We would only wear them to school dances.
Yeah.
Like not as like your actual school outfit.
But
it's
I
just
mean,
like,
platforms in general, because we had platform sneakers became like kind of the big deal. And I remember I had those and rock those, and now that seems like such a disaster waiting to happen.
But aren't they good? Don't they still have those for like exercising your tush?
Yeah, they do, but they're not as platform as that. But like I had a couple. I remember I had like a hand-me-down Liz pair, and then I got a pair too.
No, you got a pair of
candies.
No.
Right?
Oh, wait. the airwalkers. You had airwalk, aren't the
No.
airwalkers?
No. Like skateboard shoes was the first sneaker trend, which was you'd either get Vans or Airwalks, which were skateboarding shoes. Remember they sold my head and foot, like really big deal.
But Skechers were the platform.
Yeah,
sneakers.
Skechers became the platform ones, and but then I had a pair of Candies though that were which kind of had a
I remember that.
good brand of those. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Good stuff.
But,
Good stuff.
Yeah, good fashion.
Okay. Paul Mitchell brand.
Oh my God, I
salon
had that.
products. Okay, Alexia obviously being like very trendy and into, has nice hair care stuff, whatever, cares about her looks. Paul Mitchell, big deal in the 90s. I can still smell that shampoo. Our mother used it because I think her salon did.
Yes, yep.
So she always like brought home all the
had
Paul Mitchell
the
stuff.
giant like pump one like they would have at the salon.
Oh shit! If I
shit
smelled
was
that now, it would like
expensive. Yeah.
take me back.
Yeah,
Good stuff.
They still
good
have
stuff.
it. I mean, it's
Yeah.
locked
No, it's
behind
great.
the locked compartment at the pharmacy, but you can still get it.
I mean, totally. I mean, Paul Mitchell is like, he's like a famous hairstylist. So then he had, he had like a brand of stuff, but I mean, definitely lost popularity. I mean, that might have been actually the first really like designer, I want to say like shampoo.
Yeah,
That really
probably.
came out. And I think that you could kind of buy outside of the salon. I think that's why it seemed kind of like this like luxury thing. Now there's like so many different kinds. I feel like that's kind of why it's not as popular.
Yeah. All right. Sexual harassment. I would say the construction workers specifically, I feel like that was a huge thing in the 90s, still in the 2000s a bit, but not quite as prevalent as it was in the 90s. I will bring you back, Sweety, to when we were in Florida visiting.
I was going to say, it happened to us.
Visiting our grandparents in this like golf retirement center. It was like a golf course, but with like a bunch of
It was
old
like
people's
a retirement community, but yeah.
but like on a golf course,
Kind of like
And-
Cocoon.
yeah, and they're like always building something, like always building like a new part of it, like in Poltergeist. It's like, okay, now this development's
Right.
working. So we had to walk to get to the pool, and we had to walk past these construction workers. I was in like 7th or 6th grade.
No,
or
you're in 8th grade.
8th grade, but like had a unibrow, was very pale and skinny, and had no boobs, like very ugly. And Sweety was maybe in her sort of better looking. No. When was this? What stage?
I
of
was
your
a
life
senior.
was
I
this?
was hot.
You were
I was a senior.
when I was
Yeah.
in 8th grade.
Yes. Remember, we never
yeah.
were in school together, and this was our vacation.
All right.
This was right before
So
Grandpa died.
I remember
Yeah.
in my head, I remember us being just like ugly ducklings, and we were
I
like
mean,
walking to the
I
pool.
felt good about myself.
And these construction workers just like sent up this like chorus of hoot and hollers at us. Like we were like on the other side of the street. It was so awful. Sweetie and I turned around and went back to our grandma, and we were like, "We don't want to go to the pool."
I
Like,
don't think we
what
told
the
them what
fuck?
happened either, did we?
Probably not. I don't know.
I doubt we did.
We were like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I got another pool." It
I
was
feel like we told
awful.
them. If we told them, Grandpa would have marched over there and
Oh,
be
yeah,
like,
and
"Shut
been
your mouth."
pissed.
Yeah.
But that was such a thing in the 90s, was like the construction worker whistle, like, and
Well-
they would. This proved to me that they would do it literally to any
Yeah, totally.
female body. Like, hello,
They were just
I'm
bored
13
and
years
yeah.
old.
They were just bored and it's just like, it's like a gang mentality. They're like a big group of guys, so they feel comfortable,
So sketchy.
and outnumbering us, whatever. I'm not saying that doesn't happen now. It definitely still does, and
It
it's
has
really
not
sad.
happened to me. I would say in the past 10 years, I don't think I've walked the construction workers would not do it. Like even
Yeah.
at college, I remember walking by some and being
Okay.
like, and they didn't do
Well,
it.
it's tapered off. Yay, the Me Too movement. I feel like a lot of that stuff is sort of like, has taken a back seat / been taken, just not happening as much anymore. So that's good. But I agree. Terrible time in the 90s. The construction worker catcalls. Okay. I put Jeeps on here, which, I feel like Jeeps were like a big 90s thing. And I'm like thinking, did she have this or am I making this up? Those like fuzzy seats?
She had them. Yeah.
Okay. She had the fuzzy
Yeah.
seats. Yeah.
Those were big.
Such
Yeah,
a
you
thing.
needed the sheepskin.
Yeah.
It was an important part. But yeah, Jeeps were cool.
Like
We
the
had-
it car, kind of like the first it car. I don't know, like one of the first it car or the it car of the, not the first,
Of
but
the
the
90s,
I would the
yeah.
it of the 90s, I'd say.
Maybe. Yeah. That makes sense.
Also, Cher from Clueless.
Right. Exactly. See, share for more details. And Greg Norshow and
Yes.
Sam Fisk. Like, everyone had a Jeep. Everyone who's anyone had a Jeep.
Totally.
So yeah, that's a good one. Oakley's, those
Oh.
sunglasses that were like oval, and Alexia has a pair of like white ones that she clips on her like blue vest it's when Haley's Alexia, but it's like they fit perfectly in her little like vest hole. Yeah, Oakley's, good times. Not attractive. They may also make you look like an alien.
Yeah, oof, those are terrible. But I got a pair of wraparound one time. I think we were on vacation, and I was able to score some of those. And I was like, yeah.
Weren't they like
Look at my
green?
green, like
yeah,
kind of clearish green,
Like
kind
a
of with like a
mint.
little tinge. Yeah. Oh yeah, man, I love those. But total bug eye. Blockbuster, pour one out for good old Blockbuster.
I didn't catch that. When was that?
Well, Alexia as Haley goes home sick after she faints in science, and her mom goes and picks her up, and she's like, "Mom, can we stop at Blockbuster and then get some ice cream?" And I was like, "Oh my God, girl, taking me back to when I got my wisdom teeth out, and we did just that." I remember Dad picked me up. We got wisdom teeth, and he's like, "Hey, want to go to Blockbuster?" Wisdom teeth. I need to get ice cream, but I got my wisdom teeth out. And he's like, "Want to go to Blockbuster?" I'm like, "Yeah." So that I'm like in Blockbuster with like cotton, like literally all in my mouth. I had just been knocked out for like, you know how long that surgery is.
Your mouth like
and on
bleeding and, like,
painkillers.
nasty.
Yeah, I mean, the cotton was still in there. And I remember I went into the store and helped Dad pick out like 4
What did
movies.
you get?
I don't remember, but it was just a very, very memorable like Blockbuster experience for me. But
Good
Blockbuster,
times.
so good. Love
Gotta
it.
get the popcorn, it's right there.
Yep. I know.
Impulse
Oh my
purchase.
God.
So good.
Impulse purchase. And the candy.
So buttery. Yeah, so
So good.
buttery. Covering your textbooks.
Oh.
Which they may still do this. I'm not sure. But obviously to us, this reminds us of the 90s because we were in school in the 90s. But it was such a thing to like, okay, first day of school, you get your books and then you take them home and Dad wraps them in the bags.
Man, he loved doing that. Okay, so
Okay,
for
well,
our
it was
family,
hard. You had to like
God, this is-
measure shit,
God,
and
this
like
is
he's making like annotations on the
Oh my
paper
God.
bag.
Th-
Like
this
it
is
was
such
legit.
our dad moment. So yeah, we'd be like, "Here, Dad, here's our books," and we'd like help him do one, and then he'd like go to town on all of them. But we used paper bags, very like economical family. But I remember like when I was a senior, I want to say, I was like, "Dad, I don't want to do paper bags anymore. I want to do that like cool sticky stuff that you would put on there."
I got that too. We both we both got it. I had like the pink one.
Yeah,
and you had like
and,
the blue
and so
one or the green
that was
one.
like our transition out of the bag thing.
Yep.
And I was like, oh man, and then like you would have that paper bag on there, and then you'd write like math on it or like
Yeah.
science,
and then you
or,
would
like bio.
you would doodle on it all
yes,
year.
all year. Yep.
Man.
That would have been cool to save those.
I mean, and they really protected the
They
book.
worked. They really did, yeah.
And it was just a paper bag. Like,
Right.
wow, what a nuance. But
Oh,
yeah, that was good times. But I remember being like, I'm never going to be able to do this on my own, Dad. You're going to have to always do it because
Yeah.
I don't know how to do it.
loved
It was
it, though.
hard. It was hard.
he loved it. It seemed like he loved it. Maybe he didn't, but I mean, I think he got a kick out of it.
After the 10th one, he became sick
Right.
of it.
Okay, mini backpacks.
Yep,
So these
totally.
have had a resurgence, I will say. They're a little bit bigger though now, the ones that came back. But those ones were like the tiniest, most like you could barely put anything in there. I mean, it's basically like a purse. It was like a little backpack. And again, it just seemed like, a little bit of like hot baby syndrome again. I don't know. Just saying. Why
little
are we
backpack.
why are we like, yay, like little kid shit?
Yeah. Okay, this one was a mistake because I looked it up and it was incorrect. But I wrote Letters to Cleo.
That wasn't the
and-
band.
No, that was not
No.
the band. So I thought it was this whole time. I always thought that band was Letters to Cleo, or at least the lead singer in like a
Yeah.
different band. So it's actually this band called Moon Pools and Caterpillars, and it's not them at all. But it's that very 90s like girl fronted rock group sound,
Yep.
which
Yep.
Letters to Cleo also was.
Right.
And no doubt, like it was very like of the time. So yeah, that just really brought me back for sure.
Totally. Okay, this might be a reach, but virginity shaming or like losing your virginity shaming. So there's a moment where Haley is watching Alexia when they're still themselves, like in the jacuzzi, and she's talking to her friend, and she's like, she's making out with her boyfriend, sorry, and her friend's like, oh, do you think she's like lost her virginity yet? And they're like, yeah, she definitely has, or whatever. So then at one point when they've already body swapped, like once Alexia kind of feels Haley's taking over her life, she's like, what, are you going to lose my virginity for me too? And Haley's like, oh my God, you haven't lost your virginity yet? And Alexia goes, no, I have morals, you know? And I was like, whoa. Okay. We don't, everyone does their own speed. Everyone, loses virginity when they feel like it is right for them. It has nothing to do with like a moral thing. And I felt like that is a little bit of a 90s thing, that it was just like, oh, don't lose your virginity, like promise ring, like all that kind of stuff. Not saying that stuff has disappeared.
Yeah, it's very like Cher. Whereas I feel like other characters were not like that. Like I always thought the 90s was very like have sex, and like if you didn't have sex by the time you were 17, you were like a weirdo. And that's true even in like, I'm rewatching America's Next Top Model, and anytime there's like, it's like, Anna, 18, like, wow, she's a virgin. I can't believe it. And it's like, oh my God, she's 18 years old. Like, it's just like so fucked up.
Yeah. But I feel like maybe that was something like movies and stuff of this time was trying to get across, that you could be popular and not have to do that stuff. Yeah. Maybe that was like part of the message that they always kind of tried to stick in there, just from like a,
true,
I don't even know.
Maybe.
Ratings like standpoint.
Maybe. The last one I have is face masks, which I know were prevalent before the 90s, but I feel like they were started really being like marketed in the 90s. Remember this face mask we had, which was like the peel off one?
Which are still some of my favorite. The cucumber? It was cucumber.
Yes, I can like envision the bottle. I feel like we had this for like 6 years, just the same one kicking around in the bathroom that I would use like all the time. Like, how did it not run out? And you would like put it on in this like kind of thick layer, and then it hardens, and then you peel it off. Oh my God, I love it.
I think it was
my favorite.
The brand was Freeman's, I want to say.
Ooh,
and yeah, that was sort of really big at the time. Freeman's cucumber mask, I want to say. And now face masks are huge. I mean, face masks are blown up, but really it's the sheet mask. But I still really enjoy a good peel off mask. I mean, it's very cathartic to be peeling. Like, it feels like you're peeling like a layer of skin off, even though you're not.
I think it was actually...
Was it not Freeman's?
Right. Yeah, it was. Yeah. It was, but it was a different... They have like a different look now.
Yeah.
Like,
but
brand.
they probably still have it.
Yeah, they still have it.
Yeah.
I'm picking that up next time I'm at Target.
Oh yeah, I have a peel off one. I think it's like an Aveeno one, some like brightening one or something. It doesn't like smell that great or anything, but yeah, that was my jam.
But
I love that.
I always felt so like grown up when I did it too. I'd be like, oh, I have a face
mask.
But
the one she had, I think, was like the very like stereotypical green,
like white or like white,
yeah,
kind of one.
You like the Wicked Witch of the West, like kind of one, yeah. Which I have funny story about that. So I just got a CBD mask. This is again all the rage now, yeah. And so it has some CBD in it. It's supposed to, have some calming properties for your skin. So it looks like green, dark green. It kind of smells like pine trees. But anyway, so we do Marco Polos with our little niece in Ireland. And I'm always like, hi, Pippa, like, it's me, blah, blah, blah. And our sister comes on and leaves us one the next day and is like, so, Emily, I don't recommend the mask on the polos anymore, because apparently our niece Ava was like terrified of it. But then the next day, like our little niece comes on. It's like, actually, like, I like your mask. Like, like so funny.
It was so weird. It was like she was
so
listening to us.
Yeah.
Because I had just made fun of Sweety about it, like just prior to this, and then we got a polo that was like, hi, it's me. I like your mask. I'm not scared anymore.
And she called it a veggie mask, which was like so funny. So every time I put it, now I like wear the mask all the time. I'm like, hi, Pippa, it's me. And I'm like, I'm wearing the broccoli mask.
Ew, nasty. I thought it really was broccoli.
No.
I was like, sick. Broccoli face.
CBD.
All right. That's all I have for 90s.
Okay, I just have one more. So halter dresses. So Haley's dress at the end reminds me, felt very 90s, and that was like very thing having these like halter dresses, which I always felt made you look like so athletic and like and I always saw short girls in those, and it just made them look like little gymnasts. I don't know. Yeah. They look like so they always made shoulders. Broad shouldered, and just made them look like with a halter. I don't know. And I was just like, and it was really short, and I'm like, that was just not the dress for her and her body type. Like, I don't know like what they were thinking, but she still looked good. But just interesting. But I just feel like you don't see as many halter dresses now. They were a big deal.
True.
I don't know.
That's true. That style is not really around that much anymore at all. Also, that like what style dress is that? Like A-line? No. Her red one.
Like flared, kind of like a flared hem.
Really
but
short. Like shorter than a regular short dress.
Yeah, like kind of like. Yeah, like almost like a skater skirt, I think is what they call it, like a skater skirt.
With
but
the red
all
gloves.
those dresses at the at that dance did totally remind me of like all Liz Dumas's like prom and homecoming dresses. I was like, whoa!
But weren't you so underwhelmed by her dress, that the $298 gown?
You should have been in this living room, because literally, I turned to Jimmy. I go, snooze fest. What is with that dress? It was like a nightgown with a bow on it. I'm like, what?
Wait,
like,
no, it was the black one. It was the black one at the end.
Oh, okay. No, that one, because the back was really cool.
Yeah, but it was still black and boring. Like,
oh no, I thought the white one was the fancy one. She was all like
I don't
huff
think
about.
So. No. I know. I thought that too at first, and I was like, sick. But yeah, it was just. I think it was just the black one. It was fine, but it was just boring. Like, I hate black gowns because I just find them to be the most boring of dresses. And like,
I got one more. Sorry. I feel like ours are always like fashion and hair and makeup based. Okay, little tendril curls all coming like down off of the updo.
I like one or two, but like she had too many tendrils.
Oh my god, the
tendrils! In that end scene, it was too much for me. And she had like a clip in the very back under her bun, so like no one could see it, and I was like, what is the point of this?
I mean, the whole movie, if you pay real close attention, is basically like a 17/YM/ like sassy magazine or whatever.
Self, if you will.
Yeah.
It just made me really it made me feel really cozy.
Yeah. As these movies do.
Yeah. And it was just like, I don't know, it gave me like, when I was watching this, it gave me like hope that I would be popular and cool. And like, I was like, oh, I can't wait till I'm in high school and I can wear knee highs.
I mean, we've talked a lot about this, watching these. Like, I mean, you were in high school when you were watching this, though, right? Yeah, you were. Okay, yeah.
Maybe just barely, right?
You're just in high school. Okay.
Yeah.
But that's the thing with those high school movies, which always made us be like, yeah, man, high school is going to be just like this. I'm going to be so popular. I'm going to get this boyfriend. I'm going to wear these clothes. I'm going to wear their hair like this. And like, it ends up not being like that at all.
Totally. I know. It's a bummer.
What a buzzkill.
And then I had a question. Do teachers really exist where they shout out the grade that you got on the quiz or the test? This teacher, there's like this horrible math teacher in this with this like horrible ponytail who is awful, and he goes around like handing people's tests back, and it's such like a high school trope is to like the teacher who's like, you got an F, way to go. And it reminds me of the scene in Feds where they like that teacher always like gives back the papers like, do it. F, you fail.
Right. No, again, I think that's
you're out.
A movie about high schools always say that, always do that. And you're like, once you get to high school, you're like, wait, they don't broadcast your grades to the whole class? This is amazing. Wow, nobody knows I got an F on this math test. Okay, and speaking of the teacher, or speaking of that too, has you ever heard of someone being like, oh, like, Haley missed that quiz. She can take it tomorrow orally?
Yeah.
Like what was that about?
Well, I think, I don't know. So that they can't, so that they definitely can't cheat or something? But what does that have to do with being oral?
I don't know. I've never heard of that. And it was a science. It was a science test. Right. So it seems like
he plays a bunch of slides, and then you tell him what you get 2.5 minutes to name the constellation, which feels like a very long time. Right? So then the oral version would be he shows the slide and then she tells him what it is.
I don't know. I had never like heard of that before. Also, I felt very uncomfortable when Alexia as Haley goes to try to convince the teacher to like let her back into the science fair, and it's like this very flirtatious sexual thing
Because that's all she
like,
knows.
ew, that's how it was like I don't know.
Nasty, yeah. Nasty.
I did not feel comfortable about that.
Me
I'm glad
neither.
that teacher was
Me
like,
neither.
hell no. Yeah.
And then the last thing I had was that when I was looking up the soundtrack for this on IMDb, it said like you might enjoy these other movies, and then I like freaked out because it had Susie Q, which do you remember this
what?
with
No.
Amy Jo Johnson was like this like girl who had like died in the 50s, and
Whoa.
then she's wearing this like cute as fuck like little pink dress and this pink
Kinda.
headband. And she's like a ghost, like leading some other girl on her journey to be
I
like
love
cool or
that
something.
movie.
Right?
Yeah.
And I totally forgot about it. So
Aw.
we have to, I'll put it on my list so that we can watch it. But yeah, it totally brought me back. And I was like, damn, I want to watch that so badly. And that,
that
definitely
was really
a Disney
cute.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, Justin Whalen. Oh yeah. Oh, and Shelley Long is in it.
Oh, my God.
That's the mom. Cute,
Oh my
cute,
God,
cute.
Of course, it's great. Perfect.
Cute.
All right. Anything, what else you got? Anything else?
That's it. That's all I
Oh
have.
my God. But yeah, guys, super cute movie. It's streaming on various platforms. Watch it if you have not watched it in a while. I think it'll make you feel happy and cozy and 90s and safe, which is, you know, something we could all use more of right now. Also 2 thumbs up from Jimmy. Jimmy
Yeah.
with Sweety with an I. He
Sweet
liked
eye.
it. So you know it's a keeper.
Yeah, he thought it was better than expected.
Which is like 2 thumbs up from Jimmy. If I, really, that's a 5-star review.
Yeah, really. I mean, that's an A+. For the record, I'm on our Google Doc, and this movie is not on there, so busted.
It's not under like bonus.
Not under bonus apps, not under old Disney movies,
What? Damn.
not
Maybe
under
I thought about it
recommendations from fams. Yeah, maybe.
and forgot to
Maybe.
put it on. All right. Well, I'm gonna put Susie Q then. Do it.
We have so many Christmas movies we haven't done, which is
A good
crazy.
Chucking Jingle All the Way. Come on.
Yeah.
Man.
Okay, that's not even on here.
What? I remember that being on there. Okay.
Somebody's been
Maybe
deleting.
I have an alternate list.
Yeah, maybe.
All right. Well, anyways, do you remember this movie? Do you love it? Come find us on Twitter at the Sweety Club or on Instagram at Large Marge Santos. Thank you, as always, for listening. Bye.
Bye.
Nobody's really a rape artist in this.
No rape artists. Bye.
The construction workers, rape artists.
Bye.
Bye.